Japan is testing a new secret weapon the whole world is afraid of. Japan has one of the largest weapon armories in the world based on the Global Firepower Index. But even with that, the Japanese aren't done yet. They have a ton of weapons of mass destruction they're working on. And to make things even scarier for other nations, Japan keeps most of its heavyweight weaponry a secret. We put together some of these crazy weapons the whole world is afraid of that Japan is testing, and in this video, we'll be taking you through all the info on them. You don't want to be behind on any of these, so stick around until the end. Starting off with the F35 Lightning. Japan going all in with billions of dollars to get these fighter jets just shows you how much they want to take over the ammunition world. The project kicked off in 2011 when the Japanese Ministry of Defense declared the F-35, a conventional takeoff and landing variant, as the next generation fighter of choice for the JASDF. By 2016, the first Japanese F-35, known as the AX-1, took flight in Fort Worth, Texas, and was delivered in the same year to Luke Air Force Base, Arizona. 2 years later, the first JASDF F-35 was delivered to Misawa Air Force Base in Japan. And then the government announced an additional 105 F-35 aircraft to their program of record as part of the midterm defense plan. By 2020, Japan had activated its second F-35A squadron, the 301st TFS. They really aren't messing around with this project. You are probably wondering though, what makes the F-35 so dangerous that everyone should be afraid of Japan? First one, Japan's F-35s are at a very advanced stage of maturity and operational maturity. With these weapons, even their Chinese rivals don't come close on the basis of forming air squadrons or large numbers of networked fifth-generation attack formations. But that's not all. The purchase of these fighters shows that the Japanese don't necessarily need new F-35s to improve fifth-generation air war tactics, air-sea-land multi-domain war preparations, and amphibious attack exercises. The F-35 variant is proof of that with its vertical takeoff and landing, which in itself is a breakthrough for the fifth-generation amphibious attack. This project has enlisted the help of Japan's three biggest weapon industries: Mitsubishi Heavy Industries to provide the F-35A final assembly and checkout, the Mitsubishi Electric Company for the production of mission systems radar and EODAS components, and the IHI Corp for F-135 engine component production. That's a win for the nation's military and economic sectors. One has to say, well played by the Japanese government. If you're more concerned about how Japan intends to battle naval threats, then what comes next is just for you. We're talking about the Soro-class submarines. These diesel-electric attack submarines are the first boat in the class that entered service with the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force in 2009. Soro is Japanese for Blue Dragon, and while they all don't come in the color blue, these submarines have what it takes to go head-on with dragons. With a hydrodynamic design based on the Oyosho-class submarine, the Soro has the largest displacement among submarines in JMSDF service. Every design about these subs serves a purpose. From the hull covered with an anechoic coating to reduce the reflection of acoustic waves, to Stirling engines for increased propulsion performance and underwater endurance, these submarines rank amongst the most lethal in the world. Soro class has 6 HU-606 533mm torpedo tubes for Type 89 torpedoes and UGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. The Harpoons can engage with a range of 124 kilometers and have a speed of 864 kilometers an hour, while the Type 89 torpedoes have a max speed of 130 kilometers an hour and a range of 50 kilometers. The submarine is also equipped with a ZPS-6F navigation with 4 low-frequency flank arrays, a bow array, and towed array sonar. Soro features 2 3-inch underwater countermeasure launcher tubes installed for launching acoustic device countermeasures. You're probably wondering, with all these superb features, how many people can this Sea Dragon accommodate? Well, the Soro-class submarines can accommodate a crew of 65, including 9 officers and 56 enlisted members. It's bulky in size, alright, but can still attain a surface speed of 13K and a submerged speed of 20K over a maximum range of 6,100 mm. It's no surprise that Australia and France have shown interest and spoken highly of the Soro-class submarines. In fact, India, Morocco, Norway, Netherlands, and Taiwan have all approached Japan with offers to get the Soro-class submarines. It goes without saying that these subs have other nations' naval forces shaking in their pants. But even this isn't the most terrifying weapon that Japan has in its arsenal. Far from it, actually. A more worthy contender for that title will be the Atago-class guided missile destroyers. You know what makes these scary? Other than the name being missile destroyers? It's the fact that Japan just wanted to come up with their version of the Arleigh Burke Flight 2A guided missile destroyers. Fair to say, they more than matched that version. The first order for Atago-class ships was put in way back in 2000, but it wasn't until 2008 that these vessels were commissioned. More recently, in 2021, 2 more advanced Atago-class ships were put into operation. The Atago-class are so massive, they are nearly as large as the Ticonderoga-class cruisers in terms of displacement and size. They carry Aegis's world-class air defense system with a mix of Japanese and American-made systems. These warships can also control fleet battle above and below the surface, processing a singular, highly efficient system with weapons, radar, and fire control. Do you want more? Check this out. The Atago-class warships have very sophisticated long-range air defense capabilities that not only give air coverage for the fleet, but also engage ballistic missiles. These beasts also have a license-produced version of the US Mk-45 gun, a 127mm dual-purpose gun in a stealth-shaped mount. The gun has an extended barrel of 62 calibers, can handle strengthened power charges, and has a maximum range of 38 kilometers. Hostile ships, air targets, or land targets, these warships will blow them all up in a matter of seconds. It even has a last-ditch defense against incoming anti-ship missiles provided by 2mm phalanx close-in weapon systems, one in the forward area, the other in the stern area. If all this is just the basic Atago-class ship, then just try to imagine the recent improvements made to the 2020 and 2021 models commonly known as the Maya class. Everything from the hulls to the propulsion system has been turned up a notch. Very few nations have the armed forces to face off against these beastly warships, be it Army, Navy, or Air Force. Japan really isn't messing around. But what comes next is more proof of that. It might not be in use yet, but the Mitsubishi FX 6th generation stealth fighters will be in use very soon. And they are about to change the game for fighter jets. This jet is set to be Japan's first domestically developed stealth fighter jet and will be in circulation about a decade from now. One thing that makes these projects more lethal is that Japan is collaborating with the United States on this one to build an unnamed aircraft, accompanying the FX with Mitsubishi as the lead company. The FX is a twin-engine stealth fighter set to be bigger than the F-22. The size gives it an edge in long range and large payload capacity. It will feature mind-blowing network capabilities and carry more missiles than the F-35. The FX is set to replace the use of conventional hydraulic systems with electric actuators due to the complexity of designing the interior of the stealth fighter. Hydraulic system piping causes problems with design considerations, such as rigidity and length, which is something electric actuators make easier. It also helps with weight reduction and offers improved mobility for the aircraft. But this isn't the only technology put in place to facilitate the FX lightweight body structure. One way is the minimal use of fasteners by replacing those with bonded composite materials through adhesive molding. The FX design also uses a finite element method to improve accuracy and efficiency, including computer-aided design (CAD) to study and create stress analysis standards. There is even a heat transfer system installed to assist its air cycle and liquid cooling system. One won't be wrong to describe the FX as one of the most innovative weapons of all time. Remember, we mentioned that Japan has tons of world domination potential weapons. Here is one more for you. The Isimo class destroyer. When just the first unit of a warship costs over $1.5 billion, you know it's not just your regular battleship. The first level of production for the Isimo class destroyers vessel started in 2011, and the first vessel in the class, the JS Isimo DDH-183, was commissioned into the JMSDF service in March 2015. The Isimo class replaces the Hyuga class destroyers from 2008 and are all multi-purpose vessels. Don't know if you ever heard of a multi-purpose war machine, but these vessels can be used for anti-submarine warfare, command and control operations, and at the same time can be used for humanitarian aid and disaster relief operations, or even protecting Japanese territories in the East China Sea. You won't be wrong to call it a do-it-all vessel. Custom built at the Yokohama shipyard, the Isimo class destroyer has a length of 248 m, a beam of 38 f, a draught of 7.5 m, and a depth of 33.5 m. When empty, it has a displacement of 19,500 t and 27,000 t at maximum capacity. You'll find this hard to believe, but these vessels can take up to 970 crew and troops, and there'll still be room for as many as 9 helicopters, including 7 anti-submarine warfare (ASW) helicopters, and there'll still be room for as many as 9 helicopters, including 7 anti-submarine warfare (ASW) helicopters and 2 search and rescue (SAR) helicopters. Even though the flight deck is so spacious, it can accommodate 5 helicopters to take off and land simultaneously and has interior space for up to 50 vehicles. Not only is this vessel massive inside, it's also equipped for battle as can be. The Isimo class destroyer is fitted with 2 Phalanx close-in weapon system guns, 2 CRAM CIWS launchers, electric warfare and decoy systems, anti-torpedo mobile decoy, and a floating acoustic jammer. Propelled by 4 GE IHI LM2500 IEC gas turbine engines, the Isimo class destroyers generate a power of 112,000 HP and can sail at a top speed of more than 56 kilometers an hour. At this point, it goes without saying, you don't want to mess with the Japanese. Which of these weapons do you think is most lethal? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and enjoy our other videos.